For mig.
To fulfill God's purpose.
Til at fuldføre Guds formål.
For my life.
For mit liv.
And around me.
Og rundt omkring mig.
Every day God has given you.
Hver eneste dag har Gud givet dig.
Is for you to bring one of God's purposes to fulfillment.
Er for at gøre en af Guds formål
God
til
does not
i
make
opfyldelse.
you to be alive by chance.
Gud har ikke gjort, at du lever bare
ved
et tilfælde.
You are not alive by chance.
Du er ikke i live ved et tilfælde.
Every day gives you to live in.
Hver eneste dag er for, at du skal leve.
There is a purpose that He wants to accomplish for
og der
that
er
day.
et formål, som du skal fuldføre
There
den
is
her dag.
a program in God's agenda.
Der er et program i Guds kalender,
that He wants to accomplish through you.
Som han vil fuldføre gennem dig.
There is a program.
Der er et program
in the heart of God.
I Guds hjerte.
For every believer.
For hver eneste troende.
Every day.
Hver eneste dag.
So you are not just alive.
Så du lever ikke bare.
To live for yourself.
For at leve for dig selv.
Or to just do things that you wish to do.
Eller gøre ting, som du ønsker at gøre.
No, God is having something in His mind.
Nej, Gud har noget i sine tanker.
That He wants to accomplish on the earth through you.
Som han vil fuldføre på jorden gennem dig.
So that's why I want to talk today.
Så det er derfor jeg vil tale i dag.
On the topic.
Om emnet.
That you are the answer.
Du er svaret.
You are so important.
Du er så vigtig.
For God.
For Gud.
You are so vital.
Du er så vital.
For God's plans and purposes.
For Guds planer og formål.
You are the answer to somebody's problem.
Du er svaret på nogens problemer.
You are the answer to the society's need.
Du er svaret på samfundets problemer.
Everything that is plaguing the Danish society.
Du er svaret på alle de problemer der plager det danske samfund.
The reason why God has brought each and every one of us to the church.
Grunden til at Gud har bragt hver eneste af os til kirken.
Is so that each one of us will be able to meet a need that God is seeing in that society.
Ja, så vi kan møde et behov som Gud han ser i samfundet.
So, for
eksempel,
if there is a problem with drug addiction in your country,
hvis der er et problem med stoffer,
God will go to the world and save somebody specially to meet that need.
Så vil Gud gå til verden og frelse en bestemt person til at møde det behov.
But what happens is, when we get saved, we always think, well, I know God now, hallelujah. And we just remain in the church and enjoy Christianity.
Men det der sker, det er, at når vi bliver frelst, så tænker vi, nu er vi frelst, og så bliver vi i kirken, og så nyder vi kristendom.
But really, the reason why I got you saved
is
because God saw a need.
At Gud, han så et behov.
God saw some people weeping and crying and dying.
Han så nogen, som græd, og som var ved at dø.
God heard the heart cry of the perishing.
Han hørte hjerteråbet fra dem, som gik fortabt.
God saw the pains of the desperate.
Han så smerten i dem, som er desperate.
God saw the mothers that are suffering because their children are in bondage.
Han så mødrene, som græder på grund af børnene er fanget.
God saw the tears in the eyes of the wives that the husbands are drinking.
Han så tårerne i hustruerne til de kvinder, hvis mænd drikker.
God saw the need of the people that are sick.
Han så behovet hos de folk, som er syge.
So, and God knows that he cannot do anything on the earth without a man.
Og Gud han ved, at han kan ikke gøre noget uden et menneske.
So God decided to go to the world and show his grace to you and bring you to salvation.
Og Gud han bestemmer sig at gå til jorden for at vise sin nåde mod dig og bringe dig til frelse.
So, will you come here, young man?
Så vil du komme her?
So if God has saved you like that,
så hvis Gud han har sendt dig sådan,
he brought you to church.
Så har han taget dig hen til kirken.
Not just for you to sing praise and worship.
Ikke bare for at du skal synge prise Herren og tilbede.
Not just for you to come to church regularly.
Ikke bare for at du skal komme i kirken.
For example,
masse gange.
Maybe God saw the youth of Denmark.
Men Gud han så ungdommen i Danmark.
And says for those youth.
Og så sagde han for de unge,
who are desperate,
som er desperate,
who are perishing,
som går fortabt,
who don't have hope,
som ikke har håb.
Oh man, who are destroying their lives.
Som ødelægger deres liv.
And ruin the lives of the society.
Og ødelægger livene i samfundet.
I am going to save, what's your name?
Så tager jeg.
I'm going to save Sodom.
Så frelser jeg Torben.
I'm going to save Sodom, and I am going to use him as an instrument to deliver the youth of this.
Og jeg vil bruge ham som et instrument til at frelse de her unge mennesker.
So, but the problem we always have.
Men problemet vi altid har,
is because of the setup of the church.
At på grund af den måde vi har kirke.
And because of the system of the church.
På grund af systemet i kirken.
Which has become religious.
Så bliver vi religiøse.
And it's just about the church itself.
Og det handler bare om kirken sig selv.
So we feel the church is about praise and worship.
Så vi mener kirken der omkring lovsang og tilbedelse.
Prayer meetings.
Bønnemøder.
And preachings.
Og så prædikener.
So we do everything. We think the life of the church is supposed to be in the church.
Så vi tror at livet i kirken skal være i kirken.
But the church was never formed or created for the church.
Men det var aldrig skabt til for kirken.
The church was created.
Kirken var skabt
for the people in the world to be brought to the church,
for at folk i verden skulle bringes til kirken,
so that they will be changed and transformed in the church.
så de vil blive forvandlet i kirken.
But it doesn't stop there.
Men det stopper ikke der.
But so that after they have been enlightened in the church,
Efter de er blevet oplyst i kirken,
so that they might be equipped
så er det, de er blevet
to
udrustet
be sent back to the world.
til at sende tilbage ud i verden.
They are meant, the church is supposed to be like a factory
Så kirken skal være ligesom en fabrik,
that is furnishing people
som former mennesker
and sending them to the market.
og sender dem ud til markedet.
So he's supposed to be sent back to the society.
Så han skal sendes tilbage ud i samfundet.
That is where his calling is.
Det er der, hans kaldelse er.
Our callings are not for the church.
Vores kaldelse er ikke for kirken.
His calling is not to sit in the church and be a good member. That is not God's program.
Guds plan er ikke, at han bare skal være en god medlem i kirken.
That is not God's program.
Det er ikke Guds program.
God's program is that the church will help him to get equipped.
Guds program, det er, at kirken skal udruste ham.
So in our church,
Så i vores
I
kirke,
don't allow anybody to be a good church member.
så tillader jeg ikke, at der var nogen, der er gode kirkemedlemmer.
I don't allow them to be my members.
De skal ikke være mine medlemmer.
I push them
Jeg presser dem.
until they either get annoyed and go to other churches,
Jeg presser dem indtil de bliver irriteret, så de går til andre kirker. eller indtil de går til, eller måske de går til andre kirker, ja.
because they cannot hold it any longer. They have to leave for a good church where they don't bother them.
Fordi de ligesom ikke kan holde til det længere, fordi de bliver nødt til at gå til en anden kirke, hvor de ikke generer dem.
Or they have to have the heart of God
Eller også så må de få Guds hjerte
and be relevant and become relevant
og blive relevante
and begin to do something for the
og
society.
begynde at gøre noget for
So
samfundet.
what do they come for the church for?
Så hvorfor kommer de i kirken?
They come to the church
De kommer i kirken
only that they might get focused.
kun så de kan få fokus.
That we might help them to be focused.
Så vi får dem til at få
That we
fokus.
might help them never to give up walking in the world.
Så vi får dem til, at de aldrig
What
giver
do
op
they
til at
come to
arbejde
the
ude i
church
verden.
for?
Hvorfor kommer de i
They
kirken?
come to the church
De kommer i kirken,
so that we will keep on strengthening them.
så vi kan blive ved med at styrke
So that
dem.
their hands will not be weak on the field.
Så hænderne ikke bliver svage ude på
What do they
marken.
come to the church
Hvorfor
for?
kommer de i kirken?
That they might have more passion.
Fordi de får mere
That we
passion,
might put more passion and ignite more fire in
og de
them.
bliver optændt af mere ild.
But their purpose,
Men deres formål,
their destiny,
deres
their place
fremtid,
of work and oppression
deres sted for arbejde,
is supposed to still be outside in there,
er
in
stadigvæk
the world.
ude i verden, i samfundet.
So, for example, he's been saved for a year.
Så han har været frelst i et år.
If you are saved in our church for a year, you are already good enough to be a minister outside.
Hvis du har været frelst i vores kirke i et år, så er du allerede klar til at være tjener udenfor.
So he begins to minister immediately.
Så begynder han at betjene,
Coming to church to be strengthened,
kommer til kirke for at blive
but
styrket,
operating in the world.
men opererer ude i verden.
He knows his all life is that he will be a deliverer to the youth of Denmark.
Han ved, at hele hans liv, det er, at han er en, som er befrier for ungdommen i Danmark.
Of course, he has his own job,
Han har sit eget arbejde,
but his
Men-
job is just a means to get a living.
men hans arbejde er bare, så han kan have noget at leve af.
But his life
Men hans liv
is his calling.
er hans kald,
And if his calling is youth,
og hvis hans kald det er unge,
he doesn't live for his job as a teacher any longer.
så lever han ikke for sit arbejde mere.
He lives for his calling to be a youth minister.
Han lever for sin kaldelse til at betjene de unge.
So your calling is your life.
Så dit kald, det er dit liv.
It's not your hobby.
Det er ikke din hobby.
But your job
Men dit arbejde
is not your life.
er ikke dit liv.
It's just your means of assistance.
Det er bare din måde at få assistance på.
So what you pour your
Det er bare din måde at
life
assistere
in,
på.
what you pour your life into,
Og det, du putter dit liv ind i,
is not your job.
det er ikke dit arbejde.
It's in your calling.
Det er ind i din kaldelse.
So sometimes,
Så nogle gange,
when your calling begins to grow,
så når din kaldelse begynder at vokse,
you become independent of your job. Maybe you are set free from your secular job.
så bliver du måske uafhængig af dit arbejde.
And you dedicate your whole life totally to fulfilling the reason why God created you.
Og du dedikerer hele dit liv til den formål, som Gud han skabte dig med.
There is no way God will create you to be a carpenter and to just, all your life God sent you as if God doesn't have a job to do. Sent you all the way from heaven just to put armor and, nail in a wood. That cannot be your calling all life.
Gud har ikke bare skabt dig med en kaldelse, at du bare skal være tømrer hele dit liv. Og du skal gå og banke på alt muligt og gøre alt
You
muligt der.
cannot be called just to be a paper worker and
Du
just
skal ikke bare arbejde på kontorer med
God
papirer.
gave you 70 years.
Gud han har givet dig
Can
70
you
år.
imagine that?
Kan du forestille
How
dig det?
could God send you to the world to live 70 years?
Hvordan kan Gud sende dig til verden og leve 70 år?
Put his spirit in you,
Putte hans ånd i dig.
made you in his own image,
Gør dig, skabe dig i sit
only
billede.
to come and pile papers
Og så skal
every
du stakke
day
papir
for
hver eneste
70
dag
years
i 70 år.
and never get to do anything for the kingdom
Og aldrig gør noget for Guds rige.
and die.
Og så dø.
And the only achievement you ever had was secretary.
Og det eneste du har gjort, det var, at du var sekretær.
And you never did anything for the kingdom.
Og du har aldrig gjort noget for Guds rige.
What is the sense and the logic in that?
Hvad er logikken i det?
How could God, all the way from heaven, make you to come to the earth for 70 years just to put paper together?
Hvordan kunne Gud sende dig fra himlen af hernede, bare for at du skulle sætte papir i orden?
That's a waste of time.
Det er spild af tid.
It's a waste of God's resources.
Spild af Guds ressourcer.
It's a waste of God's image.
Spild af Guds image.
Why the whole world is perishing?
Hvis hele verden er ved at gå fortabt,
God just wants to make you a factory worker to put steel and
så
steel
vil Gud
together.
bare, at du skal arbejde på fabrik og så sætte stål sammen.
No.
Nej,
Those are just means of generating your resources.
det er bare sådan et formål til at forløse dine
But
ressourcer.
unfortunately,
Uheldigvis.
in our churches today,
I vores kirker i dag,
we have people
så har vi mennesker,
who are workers, who
som
are
er
faithful to their
arbejdere,
jobs.
som er gode til deres arbejde.
But they come to church
Men når de kommer i kirke,
like a recreational center,
så kommer de til kirke som sådan et rekreationscenter, afslapning,
like a club,
ligesom en klub.
place of relaxation.
Det er bare sådan et sted, vi skal slappe af.
Just come to church
Og vi kommer bare til kirken,
and just give 5% of their life to God.
og så giver de 5% af deres liv til Gud.
And God is crying
Og Gud han græder
and regretting.
og fortryder.
Crying and regretting.
Græder og fortryder.
I sent him to the world
Jeg har sendt dig til verden
to be my voice,
for at være min stemme.
to reveal my image,
For at åbenbare mit billede.
to stop the crying of the widows,
Så stoppe tårerne fra enkerne.
to lift
For at leve.
the ones that are down.
Hjælpe dem, som er trykt ned.
He's missed it.
Og du har mistet det.
He's begun to live like everybody in the world.
Du har begyndt at leve som alle andre i verden.
Forgotten my purpose.
Du har glemt mit formål.
He has sold my calling.
Du har solgt din kaldelse.
Sold my calling
Du har solgt din kaldelse.
for bread, for what to eat and what to
For
eat.
mad.
And just gives me the crunch from the bread, from his life.
Og jeg får bare krummerne fra dit liv.
You are not created
Du er ikke skabt
to solve the system of this world.
til at tjene systemet i den her verden.
It's a pity if you have lived your life only for that.
Det er synd, hvis du har levet dit liv kun for det.
If you had lived your life only for that,
Hvis du kun har levet dit liv for det,
I'm very sorry.
så er jeg meget ked af det.
What will you tell him
Hvad vil du sige til ham,
when you meet?
når du møder ham?
What report will you give?
Hvilken rapporter vil du give?
Yeah, there are some people who are called to master areas of life, like businessmen.
Ja, der er nogen, der er kaldet til hvilke områder, eller områder i livet, for eksempel
But
forretningsfolk.
that is not, you don't live for it.
Men du lever ikke for det.
You do business
Du gør forretninger,
so that you might bring God to that area.
så du kan bringe Gud til det område.
That's what you live for.
Det er det, du lever for.
So the business is a means for you to be able to bring God
Så din forretning, det er for, at du kan bringe Gud
to that sphere of life.
til det område af livet.
So the purpose is living for God.
Så formålet er at leve for Gud.
So if you are called into computer industry,
Så hvis du er kaldet til computerindustrien,
the purpose is not just for you to work and get a good result and get money.
så formålet er ikke bare, at du skal arbejde og få penge.
The purpose is to achieve such a success
Formålet er, at du skal få sådan en succes,
so that God's principles you will become authority to speak for God.
Så du bliver autoritet til at tale for Gud.
And God could reign over that whole sphere of industry.
Og så Gud kan regere på det område af den industri.
It's not the purpose. It's not our reason for existence.
Dit arbejde er ikke grunden til, at du eksisterer.
Magnifying God is the purpose.
Og herliggøre Gud er formålet.
So we are just using all the callings, all the professions that we have, the physical specialties.
Så vi bruger bare de professioner, som vi har.
It's just like an entrance.
Det er bare som en indgang.
So that we might have a voice in that place.
Så vi har altså vi har en røst ind i den område.
To bring God there.
Så vi bringer Gud der.
So the thing we are living for is not just to do a job.
Så vi lever ikke bare for at gøre et arbejde.
It's through the job to get an avenue to make God supreme.
Så det er gennem arbejdet at skabe et sted, hvor Gud han kan regere.
So if you just come to church,
så hvis du bare kommer i kirken
and say, well, I'm a believer,
og siger, jeg er en troende,
I try to tell one or two people about God.
Jeg har forsøgt at fortælle en eller to om Jesus på mit arbejde.
It's not about telling one or two people about God.
Det er ikke om bare at fortælle en eller to om Jesus.
It's about living for God so much that's like your whole job, your whole life in your job.
Men det er, at du lever så meget for Gud, at det er hele dit liv ind i dit arbejde.
So it's like your mission field.
Så det er din missionsmark.
For example, we have some businessmen in our church.
Vi har nogle forretningsfolk i vores kirke,
who are doing business and doing something.
Gør forretninger.
I said, the reason why God gave you is not just to make money and give tithe to God. Tithe is rubbish.
Grunden til, at Gud har gjort det er ikke bare for, at du skal tjene penge og så give tiende.
Everybody gives tithe, even if they are not businessmen.
Alle giver jo tiende, selvom de ikke er forretningsfolk.
But if you have been called to business,
men hvis du er kaldet til forretning,
apart from your tithe, it means that's your calling.
Udover din tiende, så er din kaldelse.
The meaning of the word calling, it means I am called to this area, to the economy, to business. I am called there to bring God. I'm a God carrier. That's what you should understand.
Forståelse af kaldelse, det er, at du er kaldet på det område. Du er Guds kaldet til det område.
Calling, called to bring God there.
Kaldet til at bringe Gud i der.
So the whole assignment is in enforcing God and His principles, establishing it in that whole area of life, even if it's a private business.
Så kaldelsen fra Gud, det er at bringe Guds herredømme der ind i det område.
So that other businesses in that area of business will see your business and say, oh, there is something different here.
Så folk der har på samme eller har forretning på samme område, de vil se på din forretning og sige, der er noget der.
They see your success, now they want to take your godly principles.
De ser din succes, og de vil tage dine gudgivende principper.
They want to live the holy life that you live.
De vil leve det liv du lever.
And you speak to them, you
og du taler
give
til dem
the principles of God that has made you to be successful.
Guds principper, som har gjort at
so
du
you
er
are not just influencing your secretary and your director, you are influencing a whole industry, a whole sphere of business.
Du påvirker ikke bare medarbejderne og direktøren og så videre, men du påvirker hele industrien.
So that is what I mean by calling.
Så det er det jeg mener med kaldelse.
So for example, if you are a youth minister,
hvis du er en
even if you have a secular job,
selvom du har et verdsligt arbejde,
the secular job is just a means of existence. It's not your calling. It's not your life.
Det er ikke dit kald, det er ikke dit liv.
Your calling is your life.
Dit kald, det er dit liv.
Where I'm called to this to bring God to this.
Jeg er kaldet til det for at bringe Gud der.
Because I'm God's image.
Fordi jeg er Guds billede.
I carry God.
Jeg bærer Gud.
And I make him known.
Og jeg gør ham kendt.
So what would that mean is if you are called to be a youth minister in a city.
Hvis du er kaldet til at betjene de unge i en
by,
by.
On the level of a country.
Eller i nationen.
Let's say a city.
Så er det en
it
by.
Means my whole life.
Det betyder at hele mit liv.
The way I teach my people is that your whole mindset your whole brain should be thinking on how to penetrate all the youth. Every young person in that country must hear about you.
Så træner jeg vores folk til, at så må du tænke på, hvordan at du kan være med til at penetrere hele vejen ind i ungdomskulturen, hvordan du kan nå hen i ungdomskulturen i hele landet.
Så
alle kan høre om Jesus.
Our people must do studies.
Så folk må studere.
On what to do to where are the young people in the city?
Og finde ud af, hvor er de unge i byen.
In the universities, in the schools.
Universiteterne, skolerne.
So and then you have programs.
Så
You
har
write
du-
down
så
programs
laver du
on how to
programmer.
reach them.
som du når mennesker med.
So it's not just about coming to church.
Det er ikke bare det at komme i kirke.
No. It's if you are called to a youth
Du er
ministry.
kaldet til ungdomstjeneste.
Don't say you are called to the youth if you are just ministering to the 25 people in your church, to the 25 youth in your church.
Det er ikke bare for, at du skal betjene de 25 unge i kirken.
The ones in your church, they are just your partners. They are just your workers.
Dem i kirken, det er dine partnere.
Yeah, the people you equip to help you to reach out to your calling.
Det er dem, du udruster til at hjælpe dig med at nå din kaldelse.
So your main purpose, if you are called to the youth, it does not mean that you just sit in the church and have youth meetings.
Så hvis du er kaldet,
You equip those to go out and reach every young organization or youth out there in the world.
hvis du er kaldet til de unge, så betyder det ikke bare, at du skal nå de unge i kirken, men det betyder, at du udruster de unge i kirken til at nå ud til hele ungdomskulturen.
Like our people, some of them are called to praise and worship.
Nogle de er kaldet til lovsang og til musik.
So I said that if you are called to music,
Jeg siger, du er kaldet til musik.
it doesn't mean you just stand in the church and play hallelujah. You think you are fulfilled. No, it means you should influence every sphere of music in the world also.
Det betyder ikke bare, at du skal stå i kirken og så stå og synge halleluja, men det betyder, at du skal påvirke hele musikkulturen i landet.
It's good that you do that in the church,
Det er godt, du gør det i kirken.
but out of your church time, you have to think on how to bring God to music generally.
Men uden for kirketiden, så må du tænke på, hvordan du kan få Gud ud i musikverdenen.
You see, the problem we have is that we have made everything to think it's for the church. We are thinking about ourselves.
Vi tænker sådan her, at vi tror, at alt det er for kirken.
But God is using just this church as the basis to go out to the world.
Men Gud, han bruger kirken som en base for at nå ud til verden.
God is always concerned for the perishing.
Gud, han har altid omsorg for
I
dem, der går
have
fortabt.
come to seek and to save
Han kom for at opsøge og frelse
the lost.
de fortabte.
Seek,
Opsøge,
seek,
opsøge,
seek,
opsøge,
seek,
opsøge,
seek,
opsøge
and save.
og frelse.
How many of you can say, my life is about seeking?
Hvor mange her kan sige, at dit liv det er om at opsøge?
How many of us pastors can say, what we have been doing is making our people to be seekers?
Hvor mange af os pastorer kan sige, at vores opgave det har været at gøre vores folk til at være nogen, der opsøger?
As a result of this kind of mindset of teaching that I give to my people,
Det er sådan en form for undervisning og tankemønster, jeg giver til mine folk.
in my city right now,
I min by lige nu,
we have hundreds of churches.
så har vi hundredvis af kirker.
But every person, unbelievers, believers, it doesn't matter.
Men hver eneste person, troende eller ikke troende,
People who like me, who hate me.
folk som kan lide mig eller hader
But
mig.
if you stop anybody in my city
Men hvis du stopper en eneste i min by,
and ask about me and about our church,
og spørger mig eller vores kirke,
at least one out of every two will tell you who we
så
are.
en ud af to kan fortælle dig, hvem vi er.
Because our people have been out there seeking for them in every sphere of life.
Vores folk, de er derude og opsøger dem. Overalt, på alle områder.
The church and membership of the church is not about us.
Det er at få medlemmer i kirken, det er ikke bare om os.
I am called to reveal God.
Jeg er kaldet til at åbenbare
Not
Gud.
to one another, we already know him.
Ikke til hinanden, vi kender ham allerede jo.
To reveal him to those who don't know him
Til
yet.
at åbenbare ham for dem, som endnu ikke kender
The
ham.
concept of the New Testament is this,
Konceptet i Nye Testamente er det her,
that
at
God has come to be revealed in the flesh.
Gud blev kommet for at blive åbenbart i kødet.
The first flesh through who he was revealed was Jesus' flesh.
Det første menneske, som han blev åbenbart igennem, det er igennem den første krop, han blev åbenbart igennem, det var igennem Jesus.
It is a New Testament because from that time forward,
Det er
only human flesh will reveal God.
For den tid af før, så var det kun det menneskelige kød, der havde åbenbart Gud.
That's why God has to come into your heart.
Det er derfor Gud, han skal ind i dit hjerte, før du går
So
ud.
the reason he came to your heart is not because to save you.
Så grunden til, at han kom til dit hjerte, er ikke bare for at frelse dig.
No.
Nej.
He had saved you when Jesus died.
Han frelste dig, da du døde.
Jesus saved you.
Jesus frelste
Died
dig,
to save you.
da han døde. Han døde for at frelse dig.
But the reason he comes to your heart
Men grunden til, at han kommer til dit hjerte,
is so that you might carry him.
er så du kan bære ham.
Carry him and reveal him to the ones who can't see him.
Bære ham og åbenbare ham til dem, som ikke kan se ham.
So that you could reveal him in your flesh. So that through your flesh,
Så gennem dit kød, igennem din krop, kan han åbenbare dig.
through your actions,
Åbenbare sig. Igennem dine handlinger.
through your profession,
Igennem dit arbejde.
your job,
Igennem dit arbejde.
you will reveal God.
Så åbenbarer du Gud.
Listen to me.
Lyt til mig.
You are created,
Du er skabt,
born again,
født på ny,
just for that purpose.
kun med det formål.
God wants a flesh through whom it could be revealed.
Gud, han ønsker en krop igennem,
And
igennem hvem
God
han kan
your
blive
flesh.
åbenbart. Og Gud, han bruger
And
dit
your
kød.
whole total life should be about that.
Og hele dit liv, det skal være omkring det.
Revealing God.
Og åbenbare Gud.
Revealing God.
Åbenbare Gud.
God says,
Gud siger,
flesh I need. Flesh he has prepared for me.
jeg har brug for et legeme.
Hebrews 10:5.
Hebræerne 10:5.
Flesh, body he has
En
prepared for
krop,
me.
et legeme.
Body.
En
I need a
krop.
body.
Jeg har brug for
Someone
en
should
krop.
prepare a body for me.
Nogen, de skal forberede et legeme for mig.
So when it comes to save you,
Så når det kommer til at frelse dig,
to come into your life,
og han kommer ind i dit liv,
he's happy that he got a body.
så er Gud glad for, at han har fundet et
And
legeme.
that this body now will be revealing me to people who don't know me.
For det legeme, det vil åbenbare mig til mennesker, som ikke kender mig.
But what do we do?
Men hvad gør vi?
He comes to our lives.
Han kommer ind i vores liv.
We feel him,
Vi føler ham,
that he has come.
at han er kommet.
We enjoy,
Vi nyder det.
and we begin to live. We turn around and go ahead to live for ourselves,
Og vi vender os om, og så går vi hen og lever for os selv.
forgetting that he's there.
Glemmer, at han er der.
And remember, he's there only in the church. And remember, he's there only when we come to church.
Og husker kun, at han er der, når vi kommer i kirken.
Then do some religious things like pray,
Så gør vi lidt religiøse gerninger, beder
praise,
og priser han.
and forget that he's there again.
Og så glemmer vi, at han er der igen.
So we are separate from him still.
Så er vi stadigvæk separeret os fra ham.
But he wants to totally occupy our every cell.
Men han vil totalt opfylde hele
That
vores
our
krop.
thought might be about him only. Most of the time.
Så vores tanker, de er omkring ham det meste af tiden.
That our energy and emotions will be about revealing him,
Så vores
magnifying him.
energi og alt det, os bare er for at åbenbare ham.
That we might live for him.
At vi må leve for ham.
That is why he says,
Det er derfor, han siger,
to love him.
at elske ham.
That's the first commandment.
Det er den første
And the
befaling.
only commandment.
Og den eneste befaling.
Love the Lord your God
Elsk Herren, din Gud.
with all your heart.
Med hele dit
All
hjerte.
of it.
Alt sammen.
All of it.
Alt sammen.
Not just some of it.
Ikke bare noget af
Not
det.
just 5%.
Ikke bare 5%.
All of it should be occupied by him.
Alt skal være opfyldt af ham.
All your soul
Hele din sjæl.
occupied by him.
Opfyldt af ham.
Possessed by God.
Totalt besat af Gud.
And all your strength.
Og hele din styrke.
That's why everything you do with all your strength for him.
Det er derfor, at alt hvad du gør, det skal du gøre med al din styrke for ham.
Love the Lord with all your might, with all your strength, with all your soul, with all your heart.
Elsk Herren i Gud med hele din styrke, hele din sjæl, og hele dit sind.
That is what it means for God living in me.
Det er det, der betyder, at Gud lever i mig.
And he's trusting, he's counting on me.
Og
On
han
you.
stoler på mig. Han har betroet noget
That
til dig.
because of me,
Og på grund af mig,
some people
så er der nogle mennesker,
that he has called me to will not go to hell. He's not
som han har
interested
kaldet mig til at nå, som ikke vil gå til
that
helvede.
he doesn't want anybody to go to hell.
Han ønsker ikke, at
So
nogen skal
every
gå
one
fortabt.
of us that was saved,
Så alle mennesker, der bliver frelst,
you are saved to be an answer to some people,
så du er blevet frelst til at være et svar til nogen.
to be an answer to some area of life.
Til at være et svar til et område i livet.
You are not just saved so that you will be taken to heaven.
Du er ikke bare frelst, så du bliver taget til himlen.
If he could have killed you the next day after you are saved, if just to take you to heaven, you know.
Du ved, han kunne have dræbt dig dagen efter, du var blevet frelst, så var du bare kommet til himlen.
No.
Nej, det var ikke det.
He didn't kill you.
Han slog dig ikke ihjel.
He left you here on the earth
Han lod dig blive her på jorden.
so that you might be his image here in the
Så du
earth
kan være hans billede her på jorden.
and live for him.
Og leve for ham.
But we live for our jobs,
Vi lever for vores arbejde.
we live for our
Vi
families,
lever for vores familier.
and we just remember him sometimes.
Og så husker vi lige på ham en gang imellem.
And God is just weeping,
Og Gud han græder bare.
and God is just crying.
Og Gud han græder bare.
These people have failed me again.
De her folk, de har fejlet. De har svigtet
Where
mig
will
igen.
I find the people who will understand me?
Hvor finder jeg et folk, der vil forstå mig?
When will they understand
Hvornår vil de forstå?
why I have come to live in them?
Hvorfor jeg er kommet for at leve i dem?
To every challenge that is facing your country, God has enough answers.
For enhver prøvelse, som kommer imod dit land, så har Gud et svar.
And they are in believers.
Og de er i det troende.
But as long as the believers will enter into their church, close their doors, build their buildings,
så længe at de troende, de bare går ind i deres kirker og lukker dørene og bliver i bygningen,
the world there,
så er verden der,
with all their problems and challenges,
med alle deres problemer og udfordringer,
they are still cursing God.
så de stadigvæk
Cursing God.
forbander de stadigvæk Gud.
Saying he doesn't care about them.
Så siger de, at han bryder sig ikke om dem.
But it's not true.
Men det er ikke sandt.
All their answers have locked themselves in the building.
Deres svar har lukket sig ind i en bygning.
And they have run away from the people they are supposed to be answers to.
Og de er løbet væk fra dem, som de skulle være svaret for.
And the people are cursing God.
Og folket, de forbander Gud.
Because of you.
På grund af dig.
Who are you an answer to?
Hvem er du et svar til?
In our church, if anybody cannot answer that question, is in trouble.
I vores kirke, hvis folk ikke kan svare, hvis nogen ikke kan svare på det spørgsmål, så har du problemer.
You just go to any of our members and say, who are you an answer to? Who are you called to? They will tell you.
Gå til enhver af vores medlemmer og så spørg, hvem er du kaldet til? Hvem er du et svar til? Så kan de fortælle dig det.
They know who they're living for.
De ved, hvorfor de lever.
So if I ask all of you now, who do
Så
you
hvis
live
jeg
for?
spørger,
Who are you called to? Who do you study to go and reach out to? Who are you praying for? Who are the people you are living for? Who are you reaching out to? What is your whole life about? What is the concept of your whole life? Who are you working to go and get?
hvis jeg spørger dig, hvem er det, du er kaldet til nu? Hvem er du et svar til? Hvem studerer du for nu? Hvem rækker du ud til?
In our church, some people are alive. They know their whole life is about living to get the politicians and the highly placed people in the society saved. That's what they pray about. That's what they are fasting about. That's what they are studying about. That's what they are doing their outreaches about. Day and night, they know they are supposed to live to save these people in politics.
Der er nogle i vores menigheder, de ved bare, at de har kaldet, det er at nå politikere og folk i høje positioner, og det er det, de faster for, det er det, de beder for, det er derfor, de rækker ud til, det for at nå de her mennesker.
Because it knows it got the calling.
Fordi de ved, de har en kaldelse.
So everything is doing is just to get that calling fulfilled.
Så det, de lever for, det er at få den kaldelse udført.
Some people in our church, they know they are alive only to save and get the youth, the young people say.
Nogle de ved, at de kun lever for at frelse de unge i nationen.
So if they go to school, if they go to pray, if they it's only about that. And what they go to the street is only to look for those people. They are alive only for that purpose.
Så når de går på skolen, og når de er på gaderne, så er det kun dem, de kigger efter, og det er kun derfor, de lever.
Some for businessmen.
Nogle for forretningsfolk.
Some for women.
Nogle for kvinder.
Some for drug addicts.
Nogle for narkomaner.
Some for their relatives.
Nogle for deres familie.
Some for alcoholics.
Nogle for alkoholikere.
Who are you an answer to in your life?
Hvem er du et svar til i dit liv?
Who is your life called to benefit?
Hvem er dit liv kaldet til at velsigne?
To whom are you called to bring God to?
Hvem er du kaldet til at bringe Gud til?
Or you are just existing?
Eller eksisterer du bare?
What do you exist for?
Hvorfor eksisterer du?
What are you here for?
Hvad er du her for?
Why did God attract you and bring you to the kingdom?
Hvorfor har Gud berørt dig og bragt dig til hans rige?
To just occupy the seats?
Så bare for at opfylde sæderne her?
No, the anger of God could come upon those people.
Nej, Guds vrede vil komme over de mennesker.
Because you are making him a failure.
Fordi du svigter. Du gør Gud til en fiasko.
Listen closely.
Lyt til mig.
We were perishing.
Vi var på vej til at blive
You were
fortabt.
supposed to be dead.
Du var på vej til at dø
all of
i
us
din
were
synd.
dead in our sin.
Alle sammen var vi døde i vores synd.
You were on our way to hell.
Vi var på vej til helvede.
We were no good for anything.
Vi var ikke godt til noget.
Our lives was finished.
Vores liv, det var slut.
But God came and resurrected us.
Men Gud, han kom og lod os opstå.
Through his own death.
Igennem hans egen
He
død.
died
Han døde,
that I might live.
for at vi må leve.
I don't have my life again.
Jeg har ikke mit liv igen.
My life was dead in
Mit
sin.
liv, det var dødt i synd.
I had messed up my life.
Jeg havde ødelagt mit liv.
Your life was dead in sin.
Dit liv var død i synd.
As long as Jesus saved us,
Så længe at Jesus havde frelst os,
he now gave us a commission.
så giver han os nu en befaling.
Now the life that you live is no more your life.
Nu det liv, du lever, er ikke længere dit liv.
It is now my life.
Det er jo mit liv.
Live as if I was living.
Lev som om jeg levede.
It is not your life.
Det er ikke dit liv.
You messed up your life in
Du
sin.
har allerede ødelagt dit liv i synd.
You are now my representative.
Du er nu min repræsentant.
Live for me.
Lev for mig.
Go and save this one.
Gå og frels den her verden.
Go and be my voice there.
Gå og vær min røst der.
Like I did.
Som jeg gjorde.
I came and died for the world.
Jeg kom og døde for verden.
You now go and give your life to some categories of people.
Nu går du og giver dit liv for nogle kategorier af
Go
mennesker.
and give your life to me.
Gå og giv dit liv til mig.
By spending yourself, your
Ved at
energy,
bruge dig selv,
your
din
money,
energi, din
your
krop,
mind
dit sind
on what I have called you
på det, jeg har kaldet dig
to.
til.
So do you know what you are living for?
Ved du, hvorfor du lever?
Do you live for anything at all?
Lever du for noget overhovedet?
What will you tell God?
Hvad vil du sige til Gud?
Come empty-handed?
Komme tomhændet.
Who are you living for?
Hvem lever du for?
So in our church,
Så i vores kirke,
you have people going to register organizations all the time.
så har du
For example, he goes to register a public organization like a youth organization.
så har du folk, der laver forskellige organisationer. For
He
eksempel,
goes
han
to
laver en
register an
ungdomsorganisation.
organization for women.
Hun laver en
He
organisation
goes
for
to
kvinder.
register an organization for drug addicts.
Og en, der laver en organisation
Because
for
that is his
stofmisbrugere.
life.
Fordi sådan er livet.
Some people do about mission.
Nogle, de gør noget for mission.
What is your field? What is your
Hvad er dit felt?
where is your own land that you are called to conquer?
Hvor er det område, du er kaldet til at overvinde?
It's about the promised land.
Gud har givet os et løftesland.
Everybody has his own promised land.
En hver eneste af os har sit eget løftesland.
Just like Israel conquered the promised land,
Ligesom Israel, de erobrede et løftesland,
you are supposed to conquer your own promised land.
så skal du erobre dit eget
My
løftesland.
promised land is Ukraine and Europe.
Mit løftesland er Ukraine og Europa.
So I'm busy only about that.
Så jeg er travlt kun med det.
And the body of Christ worldwide.
Og så Guds legeme over hele jorden.
So I'm working only for that.
Så jeg lever kun for det.
That's my life.
Det er mit
I
liv.
don't want to do anything else.
Jeg vil ikke gøre noget andet.
Focused
Fokus
until God is manifested
på, at Gud bliver
and
manifesteret.
Jesus glorified.
Og Jesus bliver herliggjort.
Matthew chapter 14. Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't get to the Bible yet.
Jeg er ked af, jeg kunne ikke lige komme tilbage til Bibelen her.
I forgot.
Jeg glemte det.
But the Bible is here.
Men du ved, Bibelen er her.
Matthew chapter 14.
Matthæus kapitel 14.
I wanted to start with that.
Så vil jeg have startet med det.
From verses 14 to 21.
Fra vers 14 til 21.
And when Jesus went out, he saw a great multitude, and he was moved with compassion for them, and healed their sick. When it was evening, his disciples came to him, saying, This is a deserted place, and the hour is already late. Send the multitudes away, that they may go into the villages and buy themselves food. But Jesus said to them, They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. And they said to him, We have here only 5 loaves and 2 fish. And he said, Bring them here to me. Then he commanded the multitudes to sit down on the grass, and he took 5 loaves and 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and broke, and gave the loaves to the disciples, and the disciples gave to the multitudes. So they all ate and were filled, and they took up 12 baskets full of the fragments that remained. Now those who had eaten were about 5,000 men, beside women and children.
Og da han kom i land, så han en stor folkeskare, han ynkedes over dem og helbredte dem, der var syge. Da det var blevet aften, kom hans disciple hen til ham og sagde, stedet her er øde, og det er allerede sent. Send skarne bort, så de kan gå til landsbyerne og købe sig mad. Men Jesus svarede dem, de behøver ikke at gå. Giv i dem noget at spise. De sagde til ham, vi har kun 5 brød og 2 fisk her. Han sagde, giv mig dem. Og han lod folkeskarne sætte sig i græsset, tog de 5 brød og de 2 fisk, så op mod himlen og velsignede dem. Brød brødene og gav disciplen dem, og de delte dem ud til skarne. Og alle spiste og blev mætte, og de samlede de stykker sammen, som var til overs. 12 kurvefulde. Der var omkring 5.000 mænd, som havde spist foruden kvinder og børn.
This is a picture of the church and the world.
Det her, det er et billede på kirken og verden.
The world is always in need of something.
Verden er altid i behov af noget.
The world is always hungry.
Verden er altid sulten.
The world is always desperate.
Verden er altid desperat.
The world is always in need of deliverance.
Verden er altid i behov af
The
befrielse.
world is always in need of answers.
Verden er altid i behov af svar.
So they came.
Så de kom.
Jesus saw their need.
Jesus, han så deres behov.
Multitudes
Skarne
saw their desperation.
så deres desperation.
In every city in the world.
I hver eneste by i
In every
verden.
country on the planet.
Hver eneste land på
People are
planeten.
desperate.
Så er folk desperate.
They don't know where their answers
De
are.
ved ikke, hvor svaret er.
But they know their needs.
Men de kender deres behov.
They know they need answers.
De ved, at de har brug for
They
svar.
know they need solutions.
De ved, de har brug for
But they
løsninger.
don't know from where.
Men de ved ikke, hvor de
So
kommer
these
fra.
people have been desperate for days.
Så de her, de har været desperate i
And
dag.
these disciples, they came to Jesus
Og disciplene kom til Jesus.
and telling Jesus, these people have been hungry.
Og sagde, de her folk, de har været sultne.
What can we do?
Hvad skal vi gøre?
Let's send them away.
Lad os sende dem væk.
It's like us.
Det er ligesom os.
We see the problems in our country.
Vi ser problemerne i nationen.
We see the challenges of our people.
Vi ser udfordringer i folket.
And we just go to church to pray.
Og så går vi til kirken og beder.
Oh God, save Denmark.
Gud, frels Danmark.
Oh, save Denmark.
Frels Danmark.
Oh God,
Gud,
do something.
gør noget.
And God is saying,
Og Gud, han siger,
I already did something.
jeg har allerede gjort noget.
So Jesus said
Så Jesus sagde
to them in verse 15, in verse 16. In verse 16.
i vers 16,
You don't need to send them away.
I behøver ikke at sende dem væk.
You are the answer.
Du er svaret.
You give them something.
I giver dem noget.
We only know how to talk about the problem of the people.
Vi ved kun, hvordan man snakker om problemer med
The
folk.
problem our country is facing.
Problemer, som landet
Oh, what an
møder.
ungodly politicians we
Og hvilke
have.
ugudelige politikere vi har.
God is saying, don't complain to me.
Så Gud, han siger, klag ikke til mig.
Wake up.
Vågn op.
The power of resurrection is in you.
Guds opstandelseskraft er i dig.
I am in you.
Jeg er dig.
Go and change the
Gå
situation.
og forvandle situationen. Dig.
You have the answer
Du har svaret
to the political crisis in your
på
country.
den politiske krise.
They are bad politicians.
Der er dårlige politikere.
Raise up good
Rejs dig op.
politicians
Rejs nogle gode politikere op
from your church
fra din kirke.
and go and bring my light and my salvation there.
Og gå og bring mit lys og min frelse der.
Oh God, we are bad youth.
Gud, den
Our
dårlige
youth are in
ungdomskultur.
drugs and
de tager
drinking,
stoffer.
irresponsible.
Og de er
So,
uansvarlige.
Father,
Kære far.
that's exactly what the disciples were doing.
Det er jo lige det, de
You
disciplene
are going
gjorde.
to Jesus. What can we do?
I gik til Jesus. Hvad skal vi
You
gøre?
maybe we should do something.
Jesus, gør noget.
God said.
Gud,
Jesus
han
told
sagde.
them.
Jesus sagde.
Give them a kick. I
Han
think.
sparkede dem ud.
You go and do something.
Gå i og gør noget.
You are the answer for the world.
Du er svar til verden.
You Denmark people, listen to me.
I danske folk, lyt til mig.
You are the answer.
Du er svaret.
Stop complaining.
Stop med at beklage dig.
Stop grumbling.
Stop med at...
You are the answer.
Du er svaret.
For example,
For eksempel,
recently, a few years ago, I saw that we had a problem, very huge problem of pornography now.
for nogle år siden så jeg, at vi havde et stort problem med pornografi i vores land.
Every television station was showing pornography.
Alle tv-stationer viste pornografi.
And I knew I am the answer.
Og jeg vidste, at jeg var svaret.
I went to the church, I said, I'm going to change this.
Jeg gik til kirken og sagde, at jeg går hen og
In the
forvandler det her.
country where I live, that will not happen.
I det land, hvor jeg lever, det skal ikke ske.
The homosexuals wanted to march.
De homoseksuelle, de vil
I said,
marchere.
as long as I'm in this country, it will not happen.
Og så sagde jeg, så længe jeg er i det her land, så kommer det ikke til at ske.
Not God decides,
Det er ikke Gud, der bestemmer.
I decide.
Jeg har bestemt mig.
You know why?
Ved du hvorfor?
Because I already know what God said.
Fordi jeg ved allerede, hvad Gud han siger.
You go and give them something to eat.
Gå du og giv dem noget at spise.
You are the answer.
Du er svaret.
You go and stop it.
Gå du og stop det.
Don't just waste your time and
Spil ikke bare din tid.
ask me to do what you are supposed to do.
Og bed mig om at gøre det, du skal gøre.
And make me feel I am bad.
Og få mig til at føle, at jeg er en dårlig Gud.
And make me to take the blame for what you refuse to do.
Og at jeg skal tage skylden for det, du nægter at gøre.
70% of the prayers of Christians
70% af de kristnes bønner
is asking God to do what God has asked them to do.
er at bede Gud om at gøre det, Gud har bedt dem om at gøre.
Stop it!
Stop det!
God, go and save our youth. Rubbish!
Gud, frels vores unge. Wow!
And God is just crying and
Og
saying,
Gud, han græder bare og siger,
who is as blind as my servants?
hvem er så blinde som mine tjener?
So I called the members of parliament we had in our church.
Så jeg kaldte på politikerne, som vi havde i vores kirke.
Then I told them,
Så sagde jeg til dem,
listen,
lyt,
we must do something.
vi må gøre noget.
But before you begin to lobby and do some to change the law, he said it's not possible because too many people are interested in that kind of lifestyle.
Før I gør noget lobbyvirksomheder, de sagde, at det var ikke muligt at gøre det her, for der er for mange, der er interesseret i den her
I said,
livsstil.
you do your best, we are going to begin to do something.
Så gør jeres bedste, så begynder vi at gøre noget.
So the first thing we did was,
Så det første, vi gjorde, det var,
I took the church to 3 days fasting and prayer.
så tog jeg kirken igennem 2 dages bøn og faste.
To tell God we rely on him.
Så for at sige til Gud, at vi stoler på ham,
And for him to give us the grace,
for at han skulle give os
the
noget
wisdom,
og visdom
and the favor.
og favør,
You always have to go to God.
så må du altid gå til Gud.
So the second thing we did was,
Så det andet, vi gjorde, det var,
I told all Christians in our church, then in the Ukraine,
jeg sagde til alle kristne i vores kirke og i Ukraine,
I told them to let's all write letters
jeg sagde, at vi skulle skrive breve
to the president.
til præsidenten.
So in a week,
Så i en uge,
they got about 10,000 letters,
så fik de over 10.000 breve,
and they didn't know what to do.
og de vidste ikke, hvad de skulle gøre.
So they had never got so many letters before.
De har
about
aldrig
one
fået så
subject.
meget breve på et område.
So
Så
they set up a commission. President set up a commission,
Så satte han en komité ned,
a committee that will look into that
som skulle se på det her,
and see what they have to do to stop it.
så de kunne se, hvad de kunne gøre for at stoppe det.
So the committee came out with some suggestions
Så komiteen kom med nogle forslag,
that they shouldn't show it at any time. They should show in the night, after 11, and put some marks, some
at man skulle sætte
code.
det kun på efter klokken 11 om aftenen, og der skulle være nogle kvoter på
That's
det.
not bad. That's an answer. Some
Det er
answer.
ikke,
But
dårligt,
I was
men-
not satisfied with that.
Men jeg var ikke tilfreds med det.
So we started pushing our members of parliament to push it through.
Så begyndte vi det ved ligesom at presse lidt vores folk i regeringen til at presse
So
det her
after
igennem.
2 years,
Så efter 2 år,
we got a victory.
så fik vi sejr.
350 out of 450 members of parliament voted for it.
350 medlemmer i regeringen eller i parlamentet ud af 450 stemte for,
And now it's a law in our
og
country.
nu er der en lov i
Because
vores
the church
nation,
pushed for it.
fordi kirken pressede på.
So we changed it.
Så forvandlede vi.
Just last week,
Det var sidste uge,
the president and the director of one of the largest cable television, is the largest cable television station in our country.
Well,
The president of that television station was arrested.
hvor præsidenten eller lederen for den største kabel-tv-station, han blev arresteret.
And the charge was,
Og anklagen var,
he broke the law on morals.
han brød moralloven.
By showing
Ved at vise det her,
by showing pornography on his television.
ved at vise pornografisk på tv. Wow.
For example,
For eksempel.
I have a video here,
Jeg har en video her,
but we don't have the CD, we only have the VHS,
hvor vi har ikke lige det på CD.
on how we went to get our land.
Hvordan vi gik for at få vores,
Because
på den grund, vi skulle bygge på.
the Orthodox Church said,
Den ortodokse kirke,
said they should never give lands to Protestant churches.
at de
Because
skulle
they
aldrig
thought
give
we are
grund
a
til
sect.
protestantiske kirker,
Because they think we are a sect.
fordi de tror, vi er en sekt.
And the government, all the people in the government, they belong to the state churches.
Og alle folk i regeringen, de tilhører statskirken.
So there's no one who could give us the land without the Orthodox Church knowing.
Så der er ikke nogen, der kunne give os grunden, uden at
So
ortodox
for
kirke vidste
10
det.
years we have been trying to get a line, nothing happened.
Så vi har prøvet på det her i 10 år, det er ikke
But
sket.
we were like all Christians, foolish in the mind.
Så vi er som alle kristne, vi er lidt skøre.
Well, you know why I said that?
Ved du, hvorfor jeg siger det?
Because I was praying for 10 years.
Fordi jeg har bedt i 10 år.
God, give us a land.
Gud giver os et land.
God, give us a land.
Gud giver os noget jord.
God, give us a land.
Gud giver os noget
give us
jord.
money to buy land.
Giv os penge
That's
til at købe
what
jord.
Christians do.
Det er det, kristne de gør.
But later on, I got wise.
Men senere så blev jeg klog.
God's understanding came to me.
Guds forståelse kom til mig.
So we said, God had said, you are the answer. You go and resolve it.
Gud han sagde, du er svaret, gå og løs det.
Don't bother God.
Lad være med at bekymre Gud om det.
Don't worry God.
Lad være med at bekymre Gud, ja.
You are the answer.
Du er svaret.
So I gathered all my people. He was there.
Så jeg kom på mine folk, og du var der.
And we went to demand for land.
Så gik vi hen og befalede og
Now
få
we got
noget
a
land.
land
Nu har vi fundet jord.
for free.
Gratis.
We had money, we wanted to buy it. They couldn't sell it for money for us. They couldn't give us for money before. Now, because we believed God and acted, we got it for free without money.
Før der kunne vi slet ikke købe det her jord for penge, men nu, fordi vi handlede på det Gud, han havde sagt, så fik vi det gratis.
Because believers acted.
Fordi de troende, de handlede.
Right now, we have presidential elections going on.
Lige nu der er der præsidentvalg,
And we have two candidates that one of them should win.
og der er 2 kandidater, og en af dem vinder.
But all of the two, we don't like them.
Men der er ikke nogen af de 2, vi kan lide.
One is a nationalist, Orthodox believer.
En er nationalist, ortodox
One is a
troende.
former communist.
En er en tidligere kommunist,
And, not good.
og det er ikke godt.
So we don't know what to do.
Så vi ved ikke, hvad vi skal gøre.
This is not good, it's not good.
Det her det er ikke godt, og det er heller ikke godt.
So right now we are thinking of sending our own member Christian to go.
Så nu tænker vi på at sende en af vores egne troende til at,
To join the race.
til at tage kapløbet op.
Because we have to do something.
For vi må gøre noget.
You are the answer.
Du er svaret.
That's why he said he has put us here to be the salt.
Det er derfor, han har sat os til at være salt.
Don't wait for God to come and be the salt for the world. You are the salt.
Bare lad være med at vente på, at Gud han kommer af salt for verden. Du er saltet.
Jesus said,
Jesus sagde,
while I'm in the world,
mens jeg er i verden,
I am the light of the world.
så er jeg lyset i verden.
But before he went,
Men før
John 8:12,
Johannes 8:12,
he said, now you are the light.
så siger han, nu er
No,
I
that was
lyset.
when he said, as long as I'm in the light. No, Matthew 5:14.
Matthæus 5:15.
5:14.
5:14.
He said, now you are the
Så
light.
siger han, nu er du lyset. I er lyset.
When I was in the world, I was the
Da
light.
jeg var i verden, så var jeg lyset.
But now you are.
Men nu er I lyset.
You are.
I er.
You are.
I er.
Don't look for Jesus to come and do what you are supposed to do.
Lad være med at se til, at Jesus han skal komme og gøre det, du skal gøre.
When he was here, he did a good job.
Da han var her, så gjorde han et godt
But
arbejde.
now he left you
Men nu har han valgt dig
to do it,
til at gøre det.
to continue doing what
Til
you
at fortsætte
began.
hans arbejde.
So the disciples said, let's send them away.
Så disciplen sagde, lad os sende dem væk.
But at least we try to pity them. And
Mindst så prøver vi sådan lige at opmuntre dem. Og
Jesus was not satisfied with them just pitying them.
Jesus han var ikke tilfreds med bare de opmuntre dem.
Jesus said he wanted them to be an answer.
Han ville, at de skulle have været svaret.
You know, why is it that we often behave, we talk only about the problems of society,
Hvorfor er det,
and
vi
we don't
ofte,
really do anything about it?
hvorfor er det,
Why?
vi ofte taler om samfundsproblemer, uden at gøre noget ved det?
The problem is,
Problemet er,
we underestimate
vi undervurderer,
who we are.
hvem vi er.
We don't know who we are.
Vi ved ikke, hvem vi er.
We have lost the picture of God.
Vi har mistet billedet fra Gud.
God's thought about us.
Guds tanker om os.
You pastors,
I er pastorer.
you leaders,
I er ledere.
this should be your primary job,
Det her, det skulle være dit første mål, eller dit
to
første
make
arbejde.
believers see
Og gøre troende, at de
who
ser,
God has called them to be.
hvad Gud har kaldet dem til at være.
To be the saviors, the deliverers of the world.
Til at være befrierne i den her verden.
Train your people like this.
Træn dine folk til det her.
Make them be focused.
Få dem til at have fokus.
And let them believe in themselves. Raise their value.
Og lad dem tro på sig selv. Rejs deres værdier.
So that we don't see the people responsible for their own problems.
Så vi ikke ser, at folk er bare tager ansvar for deres egne problemer.
Because what disciples said is that let them go and get food for themselves to eat.
Disciplene sagde, lad dem gå hen og købe noget mad til dem selv.
In verse 15, that's what
I
he
vers
said.
15.
Send them away. Let them go and get something for themselves to eat.
Så sagde han, send dem væk, så de kan få noget at købe, noget at spise.
And Jesus said, no, the people shouldn't be responsible for their own problems and for their own answers.
Så sagde nej, folket skal ikke være svaret på deres egne problemer.
Someone that is already drawing in the water cannot save himself again.
En, der allerede er ved at drukne i vandet, kan ikke frelse sig selv igen.
So people who are in trouble, who are already, desperate, they cannot have the answers. Other people who are free are the people who have the answers.
Der folk, der har i problemer, de har ikke svar. Det er kun dem, som er frie, som kan give dem svar.
So, and the disciples were saying, let the people go and get food for themselves. Let the people be responsible for their own problems.
Så disciplene sagde, lad dem være ansvarlige for deres egne problemer. Lad dem gå hen og købe mad
So
selv.
we always say, well, the youth are like this, they are responsible for their own problems.
Og vi siger, at ungdommen, de er sådan, og de er ansvarlige for
Oh,
deres
the
egne ting.
alcoholics are like this, they are responsible for.
Og alkoholikerne, de er ansvarlige for
Oh,
deres
the
eget liv.
politicians are like this, they are responsible for their
Og
own.
politikerne er ansvarlige for deres liv, for de er sådan.
But Jesus said,
Men Jesus sagde,
no!
nej,
You are my representative.
du er min repræsentant.
You are sent by God.
Du er sendt af Gud.
You are where I live.
Du er der, hvor jeg lever.
You don't know who you are.
Ved du ikke, hvem du er?
The disciples didn't know who they are.
Disciplene vidste ikke, hvem de var.
They forgot.
De havde glemt det.
They thought they are ordinary.
De tænkte, at de var helt almindelige.
That is always a problem with us.
Det er altid et problem med os.
We think we are just normal Danish people.
Vi tænker, vi er bare normale danske.
No.
Nej,
You might look the same,
du ser måske ens ud,
but there's something in your heart.
men der er noget i dit hjerte.
God is in your heart.
Gud er i dit hjerte.
You are now the answer.
Du er nu svaret.
So Jesus told them,
Så Jesus han
don't
sagde til
send
dem,
them away to go and care for their problems.
lad være med at sende dem væk, så de skal løse
Don't
deres
see
egne
them as
problemer.
being responsible for their own sorrows.
De skal ikke bare løse deres egne problemer.
Don't think they have answers by themselves.
De har ikke svaret selv.
No, you
Nej, dig.
are the answers of the world.
Du er svaret til verden.
The answer to the world.
Svaret til verden.
The answer to the world.
Svaret til verden.
God has placed some answer in you.
Gud har lagt et svar i dig.
Look at yourself.
Se på dig selv.
You have an answer to some people.
Du er et svar til
God
nogen.
has made you to be an answer to some people.
Gud har givet dig. Du er et svar til nogen.
Either you see it,
Måske ser du
or
det,
you don't see
eller
it.
også så ser du det ikke.
Either you do it,
Enten gør du det,
or you don't do it.
eller også gør du det ikke.
It is your problem.
Det er dit problem.
One day you will answer before God.
Du må stå til ansvar inden
But
for
God
Gud.
has put some answer in you.
Gud
Answers
har
in
lagt
you.
svaret i dig.
He has put some answers in you.
Han har lagt et svar i
Some
dig.
answers in you.
Svar i dig.
Answers in you.
Svar i jer.
Answers in you.
Svar i
You
dig.
carry answers.
Du bærer
You
svar.
carry answers.
Du bærer svar.
You carry answers.
Du bærer
You
svar.
carry answers.
Du bærer
And people
svarene.
are dying,
Og folk de dør.
going to hell,
Den går til helvede.
perishing,
Går fortabt.
crying,
Råber.
weeping,
Græder.
right now,
Lige nu.
all over this country.
Over hele det her
You
land.
need that answer
De
God
har
has
brug for det
deposited in
svar,
you.
som Gud har lagt ned i dig.
And you are hiding those answers.
Og du har haft de svar.
Because of that,
Og på grund af det.
people are
Du har
crying.
gemt de svar. På grund af
You
det.
are hiding in the church.
Du gemmer dig i
You
kirken.
have covered the answers.
Du har dækket svarene.
And people who need those
Og
answers,
folk de har brug for de
they are
svar.
weeping,
De græder.
they are crying,
De græder.
because you are fed to see yourself
Fordi du er bange for at se på dig
as the
selv
answer.
som svar.
So believe in yourself.
For at tro på dig selv.
Please, will you believe it?
Venligst vil du tro,
That you have some answers for
at
some
du
people.
har svaret.
How do you find out?
Hvordan finder du ud af det?
Find out from God.
Find ud af det fra Gud.
Seek God
Søg Gud
to find out.
for at finde ud af
What
det.
has He called you to do?
Hvad har han kaldet dig
Who has
til?
He called you to be?
Hvem har han kaldet dig til at
After
være?
this conference,
Efter den her
I give
konference,
you an assignment.
så giver jeg dig en opgave.
Begin to work on yourself.
Begynd at arbejde med dig selv.
And to begin to ask God,
Og begynd at spørge Gud,
what is my calling?
hvad er min
Who
kaldelse?
am I being called to?
Hvem er jeg kaldet til?
What should I do?
Hvad skal jeg
Who
gøre?
am I called to be the answer
Hvem er
to?
jeg kaldet til at være svar for?
And what do I have to give to
Og
people?
hvad har jeg at give?
Those are assignments to you.
Det er en
for
opgave.
you.
Det er en opgave,
Write
du
those
får.
assignments down.
Skriv den opgave ned,
And begin to throw yourself those questions.
og begynd at spørge dig selv de
Begin
her
to read
spørgsmål.
books.
Begynd at læse bøger.
Begin to listen to messages
Begynd at lytte til
on
budskaber.
how to discover yourself,
Hvordan du opdager din gave.
who you are called to be.
Hvem du er kaldet til at være.
And when you discover
Og
it,
når du opdager det,
begin to do the steps of faith.
så begynd at træde ud i tro.
And you will be surprised
Og så vil du blive overrasket,
what God will do through you.
hvad Gud vil gøre igennem dig.
Number 2,
Nummer 2.
why do we behave like that?
Hvorfor opfører vi os
Why do
sådan?
you just see problems and we think we cannot do anything?
Hvorfor ser vi problemer og tror, vi ikke kan gøre noget?
Because
Fordi
we don't know
vi ikke kender,
we have something.
at vi har noget. Vi ved ikke, vi har noget.
The disciples,
Disciplene,
they said, send away the crowd.
send skarne væk.
Let them go and get something for themselves.
Lad dem selv gå ud og få noget.
Because
Fordi
they did not know
de vidste ikke,
they had something.
at de havde noget.
Problem with believers.
Problem med troende.
We often do not know we have something.
Vi tror ofte, at vi ikke har
We
noget.
think we are not better than our neighbors.
Vi tror ikke, at vi er bedre end vores naboer.
Oh man,
Mand.
what can I do?
Hvad kan jeg gøre?
How much can I shout
Hvad kan jeg gøre?
to convince you
For at overbevise
that the
dig,
whole world is waiting for you?
at hele verden venter
You
på
have
dig.
something.
Du har noget.
Believe it.
Tro på
You
det.
have something
Du har noget,
that the world needs.
som verden har
You
brug for.
have something
Du har
you
noget,
can give to the
som du
world.
kan give til verden.
That the world can have. That the world is desperately crying for.
Som verden er desperat
You
og
have
råber efter.
something.
Du har noget.
Jesus told them, you have something.
Jesus sagde, at du havde noget.
You go and give them something to eat.
Gå i og giv dem noget at
They
spise.
said, no, we don't have
Så
anything.
sagde du, vi har ingenting.
They were even arguing with God. They were even arguing with God.
De diskuterede med Gud.
But God, then later on, thank God, they went and found what a small boy had.
Men senere så takkede de Gud, og de fandt en lille
And
dreng.
God
her.
told them, you see,
Og det sagde de,
I
se.
told you, you have something.
Og så sagde jeg kan I se, I har
No
noget.
matter how small it is,
Uanset hvor småt det er,
you still have something.
så har du stadigvæk noget.
Believe in what you have.
Tro på det, du har.
Hello.
Hallo.
Believe in what you have.
Tro på det, du har.
Believe in what you have.
Tro på det, du har.
Believe in what you have.
Tro på det, du har.
No matter how small it is now.
Uanset hvor småt det er.
If you can talk,
Hvis du kan tale,
that is a potential.
så er det et potentiale.
If you can walk,
Hvis du kan
that
gå,
is something.
så er det noget.
If you are set free from drug addiction,
Hvis du er sat fri fra stoffer,
that is a something.
så er det noget.
If you are set free from worldly music,
Hvis du er sat fri fra
that
værste
is
musik,
something.
så er det noget.
Believe in what you have.
Tro på det, du har.
If you are educated,
Hvis du er uddannet,
that is something.
så er det noget.
You have
Du
something.
har noget.
If you are in prostitution
Hvis du er prostitueret,
and God set you free,
og Gud har sat dig fri,
you have something.
så har du noget.
Listen to me.
Lyt til mig.
There is a word of knowledge for someone.
Der er
here.
et kundskabsord til en her.
A lady,
En dame.
you were raped
Du blev
and
voldtaget
abused
og misbrugt,
when you were young,
da du var ung.
at the age of 13 or 14. Between 12 and 14, I think 13.
Imellem 12 og 14, jeg tror det var 13,
You were abused.
så blev du misbrugt.
And because of that,
Og på grund af det,
and from that time,
og fra den tid,
you have felt inferiority,
så har du følt dig underlegen,
pain,
mindreværdig,
and wounds
smerte
have
og
been
sår,
pursuing you all your life.
og det har fulgt dig hele dit liv.
God is setting you free
Gud
right
han
now.
vil sætte dig fri lige nu.
God is setting you free
Gud han
right
sætter
now.
dig fri lige nu.
God is setting you free right
Gud
now.
han sætter dig fri lige nu.
In Jesus' name,
I Jesu navn.
be set free.
Bliv være fri.
And after you are free,
Og efter du er fri,
and the reason why God is setting you free
og grunden til at Gud sætter dig fri,
is that you might set other people free.
er at du skal sætte andre fri.
So we feel you don't have anything.
Vi føler, vi ikke har noget.
But even your bad experiences of yesterday,
Men hvis vi har erfaringerne fra i går,
there's something.
så er der noget.
Even if you are drinking before and you no more drink,
Selvom hvis du drak før, og du ikke drikker mere,
that is something
det er noget.
you can now give to help other people.
Det er noget, du kan give til at hjælpe andre.
If you had never done anything bad,
Hvis du aldrig har gjort noget dårligt,
that is something
så er det noget.
you can use to now help people.
Du er noget, du kan gøre for at hjælpe mennesker.
You have something.
Du har noget.
And believe in the little you have
Og tro på det,
to
som
begin
du
to
har.
use it.
Og begynde at bruge det.
And you'll be surprised
Og du vil blive overrasket,
how much God will use it.
hvor meget Gud vil bruge det.
When I came to Russia,
Da jeg kom til Rusland,
I didn't have any chance.
så havde jeg ikke noget.
I didn't have any chance.
Så havde jeg ikke noget. Ingen chance.
I was a black man
Jeg var sort
in a predominantly white country.
i et land, hvor det var domineret af
Just like
hvide.
your country.
Ligesom dit land.
You have some colored people,
Du har nogen farvede,
but I don't think they command respect here.
men jeg tror ikke, at det er respekteret her.
Because in our place,
Fordi på vores sted,
people look down at Africans.
så ser man ned på afrikanere.
Because they know
Fordi de ved,
that our government
at regeringen
help the Africans.
hjælpte
From
afrikanere
poverty,
fra fattigdom
we give them refugee status.
og gav dem flygtningestatus.
So who are they to help us?
Så hvem er de, at de skal komme og hjælpe os?
We are the ones helping them.
Det er os, der har hjulpet dem.
So it comes to the mind of the people like that.
Så det er sådan i tankerne.
From Africa,
For Afrika,
what could they do to help us? We are the ones to help them.
hvad skal de gøre for at hjælpe os? Vi er dem, der har hjulpet dem.
So because of that,
Så på grund af det,
everybody looks down
så har alle set ned
at blacks.
på sorte.
Okay, good for them. We love you.
Og de er gode, vi elsker jer.
They pity you.
Og de har ondt af dig.
We pity you. Sorry.
Vi har så ondt af
We
dig.
try to help you.
Og vi forsøger at hjælpe dig.
But to think and imagine the black man trying to help them and preach to them is no.
Men jeg tænker, at en sort skulle ligesom hjælpe dem og prædike for dem. Det er bare nej.
They think it's an insult
De tænker, det er en fornærmelse.
for a black man to teach
At en sort mand, han skal
sophisticated
undervise.
Europeans.
Han skal undervise de her sofistikerede europæere.
So I knew I didn't have any chance.
Så jeg vidste, jeg havde ikke en chance.
Because nobody would come to listen to me.
For ingen ville de komme og lytte til mig
In Russia, you see.
i Rusland.
But I knew I had something.
Men jeg vidste, jeg havde noget.
I knew God.
Jeg kendte Gud.
I had God.
Jeg havde Gud.
I came to the country
Jeg kom til landet
only with $20 in my pocket.
med $20 i min punkt.
That was not good enough to get an apartment.
Det var ikke nok til at få en lejlighed.
Even to get a room in the
Det var
hostel,
slet
in
ikke
the
nok til at få
dormitory.
et værelse.
It was not possible.
Det var ikke muligt.
But today,
Men i dag,
I have more than a dormitory.
så har jeg mere end en...
I have more than a hostel.
Jeg har mere end et værelse, et vandrehjem.
And I can do something, you know,
Og
because I
jeg kan gøre
believed
noget,
God.
fordi jeg troede i Gud.
But I will tell you, it took me about 3 years
Men det tog mig 3 år
before I could break through my
I could-
own limitation.
bryde igennem mine egne begrænsninger.
That I had something.
At jeg havde noget,
And that I could be an answer.
og at jeg kunne være et svar.
You know, we hold ourselves back. We hold ourselves
Vi
back
holder os selv tilbage
with our own mind.
med vores eget sind.
But if we could believe God,
Men hvis vi kunne tro Gud,
that we have something,
at vi har noget,
even no matter how small it is,
uanset hvor småt det er,
God can do mighty things through us.
så kan Gud gøre mægtige
Through
ting
all
igennem
of
os,
us.
igennem os alle.
But let's believe Him.
Men lad os tro det.
Let's begin to go.
Lad os begynde at gå efter det,
And you will be surprised
og så vil du blive overrasket.
what a fruit you could bring to the kingdom.
Hvilken frugt du kan bære for riget.
The other reason why the disciples were only complaining and couldn't present themselves to be the answer
Den eneste årsag til, at disciplene de beklagede sig og ikke kunne være svaret,
was because they underestimated the power of the gospel.
det var fordi de begrænsede kraften i evangeliet.
They said the gospel is the power of God unto salvation.
Der står, at evangeliet er Guds kraft til frelse.
Is the power.
Det er kraft.
The power
Kraften
of God.
fra Gud.
If you know the gospel,
Hvis du kender evangeliet,
if you know God,
hvis du kender Gud,
you have something that the whole world needs.
så har du noget, som hele verden har brug for.
You have the greatest power in the
Du
world.
har den største kraft i hele
It's the
verden.
power of God.
Det er Guds kraft.
It's the power of God
Det er Guds kraft
to salvation.
til frelse.
So if you know God,
Så hvis du kender
the
Gud,
gospel is enough resources
så er i evangeliet er der nok ressourcer
for you
til dig,
to be effective.
til at være effektiv.
The world needs you.
Verden har brug for
If
dig.
you have that, you have something to give
Hvis
them.
du har det, så har du noget at give.
The next reason why they didn't do anything
Den næste årsag til, hvorfor de ikke gjorde noget,
is because they did not see, their eyes did not open to see their resources.
fordi deres øjne var ikke åbne, så de kunne se deres ressourcer.
Every one of us,
En hver af os,
we have many resources.
så har vi mange ressourcer i os.
If you knew how much you have,
Hvis du vidste, hvor meget du havde
even compared to me,
i forhold til mig,
you could know you could do much more than me.
så vidste du, at du kunne gøre meget mere end mig.
But you are not saying it.
Men du ser det ikke.
It's a pity,
Det er synd.
but thank God I see what I have.
Men tak Gud, at jeg
I
ser,
have
hvad jeg
little
har.
resources,
Jeg har små
but
ressourcer,
my eyes are open to them.
men mine øjne er åbne for
So
det,
I use it.
så jeg bruger det.
So I do more than you.
Så jeg gør mere end dig.
But if your eyes could be open to see your resources,
Men hvis dine øjne kunne blive åbne, så du kunne se dine
you will be
ressourcer,
amazed how much God will do to you.
så vil du blive overrasket over, hvor meget Gud vil gøre igennem dig.
Another assignment I'm giving you.
Jeg ved, at det er en opgave, som jeg giver dig.
Make a list
Lav en liste
of what are the possible resources that I have.
Hvad er de ressourcer, som der er tilgængelige for dig?
For example,
For eksempel,
if you can read, that's a
hvis
resource.
du kan læse, så er det en ressource.
If you can write, that's a resource.
Hvis du kan skrive, så er det en ressource.
Because too many people in the world can't read or write.
Der er for mange i verden, som ikke kan
If you
læse eller
speak
skrive.
English, that is a
Hvis
resource.
du taler engelsk, så er det en
If you
ressource.
speak Danish, that's a
Hvis du
resource.
taler dansk, så er det en ressource.
If you speak even Danish and Swedish or Norwegian, that's even greater resource.
Hvis du taler dansk, svensk og norsk, så er det endnu større ressource.
If I could have those resources.
Hvis jeg kunne have haft de ressourcer,
You have a car, that's a resource.
du har en bil, det er en ressource.
You have a house, that's a resource.
Du har et hus, det er en ressource.
Oh man, what you could do with a car or a
Og
house.
hvad kunne du gøre med en bil og et hus?
You know God, that's a resource.
Du kender Gud, det er en ressource.
You can travel, that is a
Du
resource.
kan rejse, det er en ressource.
If you have money, that is a resource.
Du har penge, det er en ressource.
But some of you don't value your resources.
Men mange af jer i værdsætter ikke jeres ressourcer.
Until you see your resources, you can never utilize them.
Før du ser dine ressourcer, kan du ikke anvende dem.
You can use only the things that you appreciate.
Du kan kun anvende det, som du er taknemmelig for. Det, som du ved, du
Until you
har.
appreciate it,
Indtil du begynder at være
it will
taknemmelig,
never benefit you
så vil det aldrig blive en fordel for dig.
fully. It will never benefit you fully.
Det vil aldrig fuldt ud.
The next thing that these people didn't realize,
Det næste, som de ikke så,
they did not realize the power of prayer.
de kendte ikke til bønnens kraft.
Because when they brought the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread to Jesus,
Så da de bragte de 5 brød og de 2 fisk til Jesus,
the first thing he did
det første de gjorde,
is to go to God in prayer.
det var, at Jesus gik til bøn, eller han
And
gik til Gud
because
i
he
bøn,
knew the power of prayer.
for han vidste, eller han kendte til
Everything
bønnens
is
kraft.
possible through prayer.
Alt er muligt gennem bøn.
And you know what happened?
Og ved du, hvad der skete?
Everything became possible.
Alt blev muligt.
The 2 fish multiplied.
De 2 fisk
The 5 loaves
multiplicerede.
grew.
De 5 brød, de voksede.
If you can pray,
Hvis du kan bede,
you have a relationship with God.
hvis du har relation med Gud,
Don't underestimate it.
så lad være med at undervurdere
Everything
det.
is possible
Alt er muligt
with prayers.
med bøn.
You have that.
Du har det,
So you can be an answer to the world.
så kan du være et svar til verden.
You have to be confident
Du må være fortrolig.
that you can
Du må
be
have
an
tillid
answer
til, at du kan have et svar
to anybody.
til enhver.
Right now,
Lige nu,
I am the most confident person in the world.
jeg er den mest selvsikre person i verden.
No bolder person than me.
Ingen, der er bedre end mig.
No bolder person than me.
Hvad siger du? Der er ikke en, der er mere frimodig end mig.
That's funny, huh?
Det er sjovt, hva'?
I think so.
Sådan tror jeg.
That's what I think.
Det er det, jeg tror.
Why do I say that?
Hvorfor siger jeg det?
It means that is a resource. I am
Det er en ressource.
magnifying God in myself.
Jeg herliggør Gud
I
i mig selv.
believe in everything God has given me.
Jeg tror på alt det, Gud har
I
givet
can
mig.
do everything.
Jeg kan gøre alt.
Everything is possible.
Alt er muligt.
And I am the answer to anybody.
Og jeg er svaret til enhver.
I want to meet with Roman and Prudi.
Jeg vil ønske med Romano Prodi.
The,
EU-kommissær, ja.
yeah, the president of the European Commission.
Ja, præsident fra Europakommissionen.
And tell him,
Og sige til ham,
I have the answer for Europe.
jeg har svaret til Europa.
You need me.
Du har brug for mig.
It's true.
Det er sandt.
I am the answer.
Jeg er svaret.
I am going to Nigeria in November
Jeg skal til Nigeria i november
to tell my president
til at få sige til min præsident,
everything he needs to do to turn the country around.
alt hvad han skal
I
gøre
have
for at
the
vende op og
answer.
ned på landet. Jeg er svaret.
That's why I'm saying I'm the most confident person in the world.
Så jeg er den mest selvsikre person
I
i verden.
know
Jeg ved,
what Jesus gave me.
hvad Jesus har givet mig.
I am his image.
Jeg er hans billede.
I am his carrier.
Jeg er et budbringer.
Nobody better than me.
Der er ingen, der er bedre end mig.
If everything is possible for God,
Hvis alt er muligt for Gud,
everything is possible for me.
så er alt muligt
I
for
can
mig.
help everybody.
Jeg kan hjælpe
I
alle.
can help the world.
Jeg kan hjælpe
I
verden.
can deliver Denmark.
Jeg kan frelse Danmark.
God is in me.
Gud er i mig.
I alone
Jeg alene
can help the country.
kan hjælpe landet.
You too.
Også dig.
But I want you to believe like I believe.
Men jeg vil, at du skal tro, som jeg tror.
You are the answer, Jesus said.
Du er svaret.
Don't
sagde
complain
Jesus.
about the problems of the people.
Lad være med at beklage dig over problemerne
And
med
don't
folket.
come to Jesus to say, oh God,
Lad
they
være
are
med at komme
hungry.
til. Lad være med at komme. Jesus, de er sultne.
Jesus sent them back.
Jesus, han sendte dem tilbage.
You go and answer them.
Så gå du og giv dem
Oh,
svar.
we don't have the resources.
Vi har jo ikke ressourcerne.
Why should you underestimate what Jesus has done for you?
Hvorfor skulle du undervurdere det, Jesus har gjort for dig?
You are the answer.
Du er
If
svaret.
Jesus say you are,
Hvis Jesus siger, at du er,
he's not a liar.
så han er jo ikke en løgner.
Just believe it.
Bare tro det.
He's God.
Han er Gud.
He sees what you don't see.
Han ser det, du ikke ser.
Please believe it.
Vær venlig og tro
After
det.
you believe it, you begin to say
Efter du tror det, vil du begynde at se det.
and go for it.
Og gå efter det.
Teach your people like this.
Undervis dit folk det her.
Soon you will be surprised
Snart vil du være overrasket.
what results and effectiveness you begin to have.
Hvilke ressourcer og effektive folk du vil have.
Maybe only 20% of them will do it.
Måske er der kun 20% af dem, der vil gøre det.
But even if only 1% of them
Men
do it,
selvom der kun er 1%, der gør det,
you already see the difference.
så vil du se forskellen her.
You have an answer.
Du har et svar.
You have an answer.
Du har et svar.
You are an answer
Du er et svar
to the world.
til verden.
You have an answer.
Du har et svar.
You have an answer.
Du har et svar.
Let everybody say, I have an answer.
Lad alle sige, jeg har et svar.
I have.
Jeg har.
I have.
Jeg har.
I have something
Jeg har noget
for the world.
til verden.
I am God's answer.
Jeg er Guds svar. Jeg
Have an answer
har et svar
to every Danish person.
til enhver dansker.
I have an answer.
Har jeg et svar.
I am their deliverer.
Jeg er befrieren.
I am their answer.
Jeg er svaret.
I am their deliverer.
Jeg er befrieren.
Don't be afraid to say that. I am their deliverer.
Lad være med at være bange for at sige det. Jeg er befrieren.
Some of you don't believe in that.
Nogle af jer tror ikke på det.
Because the deliverer is in you.
Gud, han har befriet dig. Han er en befrier i dig.
The deliverer, the greatest deliverer of the world is in you.
Den største befrier i verden er i dig.
So don't worry.